Hello, everyone. Welcome to MT4 and Tradechology's application sharing session for today. We're going to talk about trade psychology using your strategies on the MT4Professional platform. It's going to be great. We're going to talk about the MT4Professional scanner, the market scanner that's taken storm over both the MT4 and MT5 platforms. But also, we're going to show you how important trade mindset and psychology is to successfully trading. You can take and make good trades, but to consistently make those trades time and time again, it becomes more and more important to have your mind in the right place. So our session today is going to be specifically focused on applying trade psychology with your strategies on the MT4Professional platform. So we want to make sure that everyone does know that we are here for educational purposes only, that Resilient Traders, MT4Professional, and Tradechology are not registered trade advisors, so we cannot give you specific trade advice. But what we can do is to teach, train, and educate you on the proper use of the platform and the proper use of psychology techniques and methodologies to become successful traders. Trading with futures, stocks, forex, options, cryptocurrencies has a large potential for reward, but it also carries a large potential for risk. You must be aware of the risks involved and be willing to accept them in order to trade or invest in any of these markets. Past performance is not indicative of future results, so make sure that you get advice from a competent financial advisor before you start trading or investing in any of these markets. And please never trade in a live account until you have first proven that you can consistently and profitably trade in a simulated account using the strategies that you've already demonstrated. But that's only the start, because once you go into real money, that's where the real mind game starts. And that's where the psychology aspect comes in. So today, joining us, I am Randy Lindsay, your trade coach with MT4Professional and the operations director here at Resilient Traders. Joining me is my co-partner, Claudio Cardinale. He's our product development guru and technology aficionado. And joining us today as our special guest is Marcus Howard. He's here from Tradechology. Tradechology, that's one word, tradechology.com.co actually. Don't put the M in there, you'll never get there. So tradechology.co. He's with me today. Can you hear me okay, Marcus?
I can indeed hear you, Randy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can, absolutely. Beautiful. I didn't have your picture, so I couldn't stick it up here with us on here, but I wanted to make sure and give you a good, proper introduction to go into that.
I appreciate you.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to go ahead and go through my slide deck first, since I already have them up. I'll talk a little bit about the MT4Professional platform and what it is to be using a market scanner, and show how important it is to have your head screwed on right. And that's where you're going to come in, Marcus. At that point, I'll transition over to you, and you're going to tell us a little bit about what you do and what Tradechology is all about, and how to get our mind in the game. Because so many times you'll have a good strategy, so many times you'll execute it right, but then you'll sabotage your trade, or you'll get scared, or you'll let fear and greed start taking over. And those things can really undermine your profits, can't they?
Absolutely.
All right, so let me go ahead and get started then, and we'll press on, because I want to give some time to make some very special offers. I know you've got some free things to give away, and we've got some offers to make for people today. So I'll go ahead and get started. And if there are any questions in the comments section, go to the chat box and enter your question or comment there. I'll be more than glad to get to them in the order that they're received, and let us know how we can help you out. So today we're going to talk about trading strategies on the MT4Professional platform from a psychological point of view. We're going to look at the mindset of that game. But first, we're going to talk about a market scanner. We're going to ask you basically what is MT4Professional relative to that. Go through definitely a live demonstration. And then, of course, we'll go and transition over into the second part, which will be the psychology portion. So a lot of popular trading strategies are out there today. The EMA and price is probably one of the most popular because that takes direct price action and integrates that with some indicators to give you a go, no go, buy, sell / directional trade information. It's pure price action. So those of you who trade pure price can just use a simple indicator to determine directional information and bias. The MACD and signal is another good indicator to help you see. It's an oscillator that shows you good trade either entry or exit points. Like the relative strength, it gives you pretty good buy and sell signals, but like other indicators, they lag and can sometimes get you in and out of a trade pretty late. Speaking of lagging indicators, other than volume and price, all indicators are lagging. So just wanted to put that out there. That really plays with your mind because you tend to think that trading is an insulated thing, that your indicators are giving you timely information. But a lot of times, since they are lagged indicators, they can only give you information based upon things that have already occurred. So unless you're trading just pure price and volume, you're going to be trading with lagged indicators. So I just want to put that out there and help you to understand that, because it gets your mind in the right perspective in order to make proper decisions from those types of indicators. The moving average crossover is probably one of the most popular ones. 1, 2, 3, even 4 different moving averages can be used to determine trade direction, can be determined whether you're in a specific trade to exit or to enter. And then you can always throw some together and say, well, I like to use them all. I like pure price action coupled with a signal, coupled with some relative strength. So, each trader is going to be different. And so we want to address each of these popular trading strategies with respect to MT4Professional and what the scanner can do for you. So what is a scanner? What is MT4Professional? Let's get right into it. So if you look at all of the different symbols that you have access to, you have 50 Forex pairs, 20 CFDs, 9 different time frames. That's more than 630 combinations to check. If you're using MT5, then that's a whole lot more. And if you have access to equities, then you've got a lot more than that. So do you really think that you're able to do this manually? That's scan all those different combinations for potential trade opportunities. I dare say that you're probably missing a lot. And I don't know anyone who can actually go through and scan all of those. So trading on different instruments really is a must today to make trading profitable, because not one instrument is always going to be moving. If you're trading in a trade and the trade sets up on, say, the pound dollar, and then you see that Bitcoin is starting to move, you want to be ready to take that trade, and you want to be able to see when that opportunity presents itself. So you've got to have different instruments to trade if you really want to have a good, successful business. Trading uncorrelated instruments is a way to remove uncertainty and to diversify your portfolio. So a perfect solution for that, of course, would be a market scanner. So let me go through what I think and present to you a market scanner is. A market scanner is an automated tool. It's an automatic tool. It does the work for you. It allows you to scan the market situation at a glance for any symbol or time frame using your own custom rules that are based on standard or custom indicators. So like or similar to a signal provider, it's a tool that allows you to analyze all of the strategies that you've built and you put all of your effort into using any indicator that you want to. And when that criteria is met, it should alert you and to let you know that the strategy has been satisfied, and you should be able to see that. So here's a simple example, the cross of 2 moving averages. The image on the right shows that for every symbol that you see on this list and for every time frame, and now these are just examples. I'm just putting this up just to show you what I think or what I consider that to be. Then we're going to be looking for a bullish cross. A bullish cross of 2 moving averages is when the fast moving average crosses above the slow moving average. that would be identified here as a green. So here you can see the euro US dollar is bullish on the 1 and the 5 minute. You can also see that the euro pound is bullish on the 1 and the 5 minute. The pound dollar, the dollar Canadian, the dollar Swiss, they're all negative on the 1 and 5 minutes. So that tells me a lot of good information. I can see bullish or bearish crosses coming and going. I can see that the faster time frames are starting to switch out from a longer term bull, and then now they're shorter term bear. So it's a great information. And notice how quickly I can just zip through each and every one of these instruments, quickly assessing where I am in the market. That's the idea behind a scanner. So let's see another example here. So a market scanner works for you. So you can focus on more important things like managing your trade or getting your mind where it belongs. Once it's set up, the market scanner should search for the conditions that meet your criteria, your rules, basically your strategy. Then it should tell you when that strategy is met. So whether you're trading off of the S&P, the NASDAQ, if you're looking at gold or crude oil, if you're looking at Bitcoin or Ethereum or any of the other coins that you trade, you should be able to scan through the universe of instruments that you have access to for any of the time frames that you're interested in and determine whether you can take that trade and whether it meets your criteria for entry. All right. So this is an example right here of another simple one using just pure EMA and price. I want to see green when the price is greater than a 15-period exponential moving average, and I want to see red when the price is below. So here, very quickly, the dollar Canadian is bullish across the board. So that's very standard. You can see that the gold has gone bearish in the midterm, but it's showing you that longer term it's bullish, shorter term has gone bullish. So we're expecting this now to turn back green, aligning back in a directional trade. So it's really easy to see and to know what to expect and what to see. You can see the same things in the euro and the pound as well. If it were the other way, then you would start to see something like this, where the red came in the 1 minute, then you see the red in the 5 minute. Now you're expecting to see red to come out in the longer term because it's starting to cycle in. That's the idea behind it. And you want to be alerted to the fact. You want to be told when it is. That's the duty of a market scanner, and that's how it's supposed to work. Now let's look at multiple time frames. You saw that I had mentioned 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute. We could even go 4 hour, 1 hour, daily, weekly, it doesn't matter. When you use multiple time frames, you have a higher probability of a profitable trade. This is due to correlation. And it's just one of the advantages of using multiple time frame technical analysis. Consider the images on the right here. You can see that the longer term time frame has a specific trend that it's following. And the shorter ones are following the same envelope of the trend, but notice how much noisier each of those time frames are. If you look at the 15 minute, it's going up and down and up and down and up and down multiple times within the hourly trend, but the hourly trend is going up and down and up and down and up and down multiple times within the 4-hour trend. So technical analysis tells us that if we want a higher probability and lower risk trade entry, then we should be trading in harmony with the longer term time frame. So if I'm trading a 15-minute chart and I'm taking these trades, then if I trade long in the direction of the upward longer term time frame, I have a higher probability that my profit target is going to be hit, and I won't be subject to the drawbacks because I'm not going to worry about taking the drawbacks because the longer term trend is long. I'm only going to consider long trades. So when the long trades come back in again, I'll be right back on the bandwagon ready to take that trade. When the longer term trend starts a correction cycle, then I'm free to take the corrective moves, waiting for the longer term to return. That's the idea behind that. So the idea of that is to get a higher probability trade. That means the trade's going to end profitably in your favor, and a lower risk setup. So that means you can get in when you know the market's going to move. You don't have to worry about the market going against you, and you can look for a quicker profit target. So if a market scanner could search for these types of setups based on your own rules through all of the instruments that you're interested in and verify those trade setups with multiple time frame analysis, that would be an extremely valuable tool, don't you think? So looking at more examples of a multiple time frame analysis, here's one example that I've put together looking at a multiple setup. Now here is price action and a exponential moving average. Here is a MACD setup strategy, and here is a relative strength move. So what I'm looking for is when the price action is greater than my moving average, when I have a long signal based upon a histogram cross on my MACD, and if I have rising relative strength, I can see the trend of the relative strength is rising, then I have everything in place for me to take a trade entry. Notice that in a choppy price action region where you're getting bullish and bearish and bullish and bearish move, you'll get a bullish signal from the MACD and you'll have some area of relative strength. But if you look at the longer time frame, you'll see that during this period, the longer time trend was trading down. So if you're getting a bullish signal to enter on a downward trend, you know you shouldn't be taking that trade. So it makes it really easy for you to analyze the setup from a longer term perspective. So at this point, when you start to see that these trade signals are starting to go long aligned with your shorter term time frame, then you check with the longest time frame to see if it truly is working. Here you have a dropping relative strength, not a raising relative strength. That's bearish. So don't consider the trade until you get both. So at this point, you can see where I have the crosshairs, which give us an alignment here on all three time frames of both time and price. Then you can see that I have a bullish cross on the MACD. I have rising relative strength. I have a close above my 15-period exponential moving average. That's a good for a go. Now, second-hand analysis shows me I have a bullish cross MACD and I have rising relative strength. That's 2. The third time frame shows me that I have rising relative strength. Boom. All right, that's all 3 aligned. I'm free to take this trade. If you're to do the analysis and measure the distance that price moved from that point, you can see that that was about 300 pips movement. So that's an excellent place to be, in the right place at the right time, validated by longer time frames and multiple time frames. And the scanner was the one that pointed it out. It showed you when the alignment occurred, and it went and gave you the green signal, showing that the 4-hour and the daily all went green, and you're ready to take that trade. So by taking trades in harmony with a longer time frame, you get lower risk trade opportunities and higher probability trades. That's a powerful combination for any trader, showing you the importance of using multiple time frames in your trading, which really isn't easy to do by yourself on MT4 or MT5. So a scanner should use multiple time frame analysis if it's going to be used. It should be done automatically as well. The problem we ran into on MT4 or MT5 was that there weren't any scanners available. We didn't have access to this technology at all. So what we did find was something that was either too complex to configure, which meant you had to have high programming skills in order to use that. The trade software was usually unstable, or there was a single tool that was not well integrated with the entire system, or it just wasn't compatible with all the indicators that you have available at your disposal. So what we decided to do is publish our own. So at MT4Professional Resilient Traders, we put our heads together and said, let's make our own scanner for our own trading so that we can take advantage of all of these advantages. Hey, advantage, yeah. So now the MT4Professional scanner is the #1 scanner on both MT4 and MT5. It's a tool that allows you to instantly scan the entire market, any instruments that you have access to, for setups that match your own unique rules using the indicators that you want to use. So when you find a good setup, MT4Professional allows you to enhance your technical analysis with multiple time frame analysis as well, which really isn't easy to do by yourself. But for that, we're going to go to that. So stay tuned. We're going to go into a demonstration now and show you what this platform is all about. So let me go ahead and launch MT4 for you, bring it up from scratch and show you some things. Let me show you very quickly right here. This is the standard MT4 platform where you can see different time frames. If you want different time frames, different charts, different indicators. If I were to redraw this screen and make it full page, notice the lack of ability for MT4 to really keep up with me. I have to physically redraw each of these windows in order for them to be filled in. Oh, I got a side gap over here. So now my windows aren't going to be the same size. Since they are all the same size, I could always use my window tool and tile them vertically. That works. But what if I have windows that aren't the same size? Problem is like that. So if I have another window like this and I have another chart that's out there like this, okay, and I'm just going to just really quickly just kind of show how that works. Then you can see that if I were to use the window redraw for anything, it's going to redraw these to be the size of these windows. And so when I go through and try to change my screen size, or if I go back into a mode that allows me to switch back and forth between full screen and my side panels, I have to physically resize each one of these. On top of that, if I want to change the symbols, then I have to physically drag and drop the symbols from the market watch onto each one of my charts. And that takes me a little bit of time. So if I were to try to straighten these out, see, like it's just kind of clumsy. It doesn't really help me do what I want to do. So I'm going to go back here and pull that back in. Okay, that's about as good as I'm going to get. Also notice that when I try to do multiple time frame analysis, notice in standard MT4 that I can move my cursor around and not get alignment on any of the other time frames. So if I want to see where this breakout really occurred, then I have to physically move my bar and look down here at the bottom to see what the time date is that occurred. And then at that point, then I need to go over to this chart and look at the same spot, same time and date to determine if that has been in alignment. Then I have to go over to this one as well. So it's very cumbersome and it's not easy to do. So now let me go ahead and launch MT4Professional. It's a setup as a different profile. It automatically will come up and launch for you. The first thing you'll see is a blank screen with a configuration choice. It asks you which configuration do you want to load up and start running today. I'll just start right off with the EMA and price. Just to show you what I'm looking for. The EMA price is a tool and it's a setup that allows you to look for price action relative to a exponential moving average, in this case, a 15 period. And you can see the scanner over here is doing that type of analysis, but very quickly, I want you to see something. Notice the blue crosshair that I have available on all of the charts. Notice that at the exact same point right here, when I move this up at this point, you can see not only am I aligned on time and price, but it's also aligned on all three of my charts. So you can see that I have time and price greater than the EMA, time and price greater than the EMA, time and price greater than the EMA. This is an excellent entry opportunity because I'm aligned with all three timeframes for a potential re-entry into this trade. The potential point of that gives me about 72 to 73 pips of potential profit. So that's a great setup, and it's a great example showing how multiple time frame analysis helps you to identify a trade setup and validate it with multiple time frames. Because if you tried to take this, like this trade right here, a close above the moving average, but notice it didn't close above here. All right, it's already above the line here, but you cancel the trade out because it's just not quite ready. You would have had quite a large drawdown prior to the move actually taking off. You take off at the right place at the right time, it's the perfect setup. Regardless of what instrument that you are trading. Here I've got my CFD list coming up using the cryptocurrencies, some of the commodities, some of the major indexes, and some of the major Forex pairs here. So using whatever time frame that you prefer, this is set up on a 15, 30 hourly chart setup, but of course you can set it up to be any time frame. As you see on the scanner is showing me a 1, 5, and 15 time frame setup. So I can either change my charts to align with the scanner, or I can change my scanner to align with my chart. I can do that through the configuration panel. By loading the configuration panel and selecting this one, then I can edit the configurations for that. Here I can change the time or the template that I use to show the display of these things. Now, if you notice something really quickly, under this panel, I have one window that's large, the other two are slightly smaller. If I were to resize my screen, notice how the windows automatically resize and keep the same aspect ratio as I do that. That is incredibly powerful, and I am impressed with how nice it does that. So being able to take and to get that real estate back, I think is extremely important. Also, a single click on any instrument will automatically change the instrument on all of the charts at the same time. So I don't have to worry about dragging and dropping across and multiple and messing things up. And I wanted to say that this is all cloud-based. So any setups or configurations that you have will automatically be saved in the cloud so that you can take and move this anywhere you want to any location that you like. So that means that if you have a power outage, or if you have a hard drive crash and you lose everything, well, all of your configurations will not be lost because you will be able to instantly retrieve them when you reinstall your application software. All of your data and configurations will be available to you. So going back into the configurations, click the edit button. The right-hand side allows me to change the time frame. So here I can set up a 1 minute, 5 minute, and 15 minute, just like that. Click OK, click Save. Close this window and make sure you load it. Every time you make a change, make sure you load it. Now I have a 1 minute chart, a 5 minute, and a 15 minute chart, which align with my scanner window. You can see the scanners over here working hard, going through these things. And what it's doing is it's checking to see if price is greater than or less than the exponential moving average. You can see M1 is less than, it's red. M5, we're looking for a 5 minute. Okay, greater than, it's bullish. M15 is greater than, that should be bullish as well. It hasn't closed yet. Ah, you're right. Okay, thank you. Looking at the pound, you can see the exact same thing. Got bearish, bullish, bullish, just like that. So let's look at the configuration. I'll edit it and show you how it's coming up with that decision. Looking at the scanner list, I have a color rule. That means what rules am I going to follow in order to get the colors of the scanner to go the color that I select. So let's edit that to figure it out. So I'm looking for the current close of price to be greater than the 15 period exponential moving average. That would give me a bearish setup. And the corollary is, if that's not true, then the close has to be less than the 15 period. That would be bearish. So set the cell to green if it's bullish, set it to red if it's bearish. It's that simple. But notice that I have a whole slew of operators here. So I have any condition that I want to have set up, and I have access to any indicator that I want. So I can choose any indicator which is either on your MT4 or MT5 platform, any of the trend indicators that are available. All right, any of your oscillators that you like so well, and so forth. Even price, direct price action from the price, the open, high, low, and close values that you can choose to interact with your indicators as well. You have access to all of those. If you don't use standard indicator, then you can always pick any custom indicator from your computer by clicking this button, and then you get a list of all of the indicators that you currently have, whether you've purchased them from a third party or you've created them yourself. It doesn't matter. You have access to them and can use them in your scanner to create your own set of rules to color the cells to let you know when the trade is ready to go or not. One last thing, notice the little share icon in the bottom right corner. When you've created a configuration like this one here, and the people that you're working with want to see it as well, you can share it with them. So you can click this share icon button, and that'll bring up a panel that allow you to type in the name of your partner, your trading buddy. Then it'll allow you to send it to them right away. So that way they will be right on the same page with you as well. So that on this list, you can see that on the bottom is a inbox. So any configurations that have been sent to you will appear in this inbox. So all you have to do is select the inbox item once you've created your own configuration. This allows you to look at it, but if you're ready to create your own, then all you have to do is just click the create your configuration, then scroll down to the bottom in your inbox, select that and click yes. Okay. I'll get rid of it because I don't really need it. It's organized by custom creations by that you've made. It's created, or the presets, which are ones that we provide you as part of the software. And then the inbox are the ones that have been sent to you in your trading community. All right, one last thing before we move over, I just wanted to show you that when you take part and go into the members area, then you, from the MT4Professional website, you just sign in. And you can see that there's an onboarding process that we walk you through every step of the way to get you installed and up and running. At the top of every page is the software link to download the application, and we even give you the version number to make sure that you know you're using the most recent and up-to-date software. And if you don't already know, then you can always go to the notifications section and go to the announcements to let you know that when the newest version of the software has been released and what the README portion of that is. Okay. The notifications section here allows you to see when your scanner is notifying you, if you're in the office or not, whether you have a real-time setup or not. And if you need help, then you can always visit our documentation and help section, where you can get videos and direct instructions on how to get up and going. And if that's still not enough, then all you have to do is let us know, and we'll be more than glad to help you and get you going. One last feature I wanted to show you is that here is the real-time scanner setup. Now I've got this set up here running on a, this is a browser window. So this is a good example of using it on your mobile device or on your laptop somewhere else. You can't sit at your computer all the time, so you're going out to lunch and you want to take it with you. So pull up the MT4 application that's running on your desktop, and then the desktop will link or sync up with the application here. Refresh that because it's not getting it. Usually comes up really quickly. There it is. Notice that it provides me with a scanner which is exactly replicates and stays in sync with the scanner that's on my desktop. Any changes made to the desktop will be reflected here. Notice also that when I interact with this scanner here, say I'm going to click on the S&P, then it's going to automatically send that instruction back to my desktop, change the symbol, and take a photograph so that I can see what the trade setup is. Here I can see that I've got a bullish, not quite here. So I'm ready to go bull. I'm ready to take the trade almost, but it's not quite set up yet. So that's the idea behind it, is that you don't have to miss a trade setup if you're going to lunch or if you're going out. The trade scanner and the real-time scanner in the members area allows you to see that and to manage it and to use it. And that helps you with your mindset. That helps you because you don't have to worry about things that are out of your control. You're always going to be in control, and you're always going to have tools that you know and can trust in those things. All of these snapshots and all the pictures that you do take can be managed in the snapshot area. You can tag them all, and you can give them a list of the things that are most meaningful to you. So any breakout trades, any specific trades related to the software setup can all be identified and shown on the lists that are there as well. So you don't have to worry about missing anything. And we even provide you with a share link so you can share them on all the social media content, or if you've made it private, then you can always take that out. So if I were to go to this trade, for example, then some of those are public and some of those are private. Like this one. Okay. A lot of questions along the way, but I think this will probably be a good point to start transitioning over into the psychology side. But first, really quickly, I want to show you some information. So we normally make the software available to you at a specific price, which we're not going to do today. MT4, the full version on MT4 and MT5, our exclusive Skype community, unlimited configurations and storage, all of the 14 of the presets that we've already done. We usually make that available to you for $194 a month, but as you're part of our class today, we're trying to knock things down. You're not going to pay $194 a month. 50% off is $97 a month. We even throw in a free trial, 14 days. If you click on the link below, then you can get access to it right away. MT4Professional.com/trial. If you have any questions at all, then you can always contact us at support@MT4Professional.com, and we'll be more than glad to get right back to you, either with a phone call or with an email or with a Zoom session. We can leave that link there to let you know that MT4Professional.com/trial. Claudio has put the link in the chat box so that you can click on it and take access of this phenomenal software. But now we're going to transition over into the mindset portion, in the psychology part of our presentation today. And that's what we invited our guest, Marcus, to be part of us today from Tradechology. Marcus, are you there?
Yes, I am, Randy. I am here.
Awesome. If you could go ahead then and share your screen and start with your slides, and we'll be glad to transition over into the second part of our presentation today.
Not a problem at all. Let's see. If I do that one there, can everyone see my screen so far?
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I'm coming through in the audio. Okay, thank you so much, Randy, for the great presentation. I definitely learned a lot, and I've got some questions myself once we go to the Q&A session.
Okay.
Just on some things that I wasn't even aware that MT4Professional was doing, which is really great. So
awesome.
Definitely have some questions there. And thank you, Claudio, as well, because you have been just formidable and monumental in getting this together. So I definitely want to give you your praise as well for working so much on the back end, even though you won't publicly probably be talking today. So with my part of the presentation, I genuinely want to jump into trading psychology, mindset, and how you can utilize psychology and mindset to help you to become a more consistently profitable trader. One of the things that I love about MT4Professional, and the reason why I agreed to come and even give this presentation and offer our services and the things that we're doing here at Tradechology free of charge to the members of the MT4 professional communities, because I believe in their scanner. I believe in having the ability to be able to quickly and easily and efficiently look at multi-time frame analysis and to have a tool or a system that helps you to scan for opportunities based on your rules that you have set up or rules that you have acquired from someone else who may be a successful trader, but to be able to have a visual way to know exactly when your conditions are met in the market to find the best time for you to enter into a trade. That is going to be incredibly important for any trader, because we constantly run into mental fatigue and running out of mental capital. And what I mean by this is, if you don't necessarily have a tool that is working alongside with you to scan the market for finding the best opportunities, you're going to find that the fatigue is going to set in, the impatience is going to set in, and you'll find that any setup at that point will do. And I see it happen all the time with traders, simply because they don't have the rule-based in place to allow you to see exactly when it is that you're supposed to enter into a trade, which contributes so much with your patience. And so I want to go into so many of those areas today, and to be able to provide you with some tools that you can use going forward to optimize your trading psychology. I really think you're going to love what's here. So here's what we're going to cover today. We're going to cover the #1 secret to trading psychology. Then we're going to talk about key principles for peak performance. Just give me 1 second. Let me just pull up the chat here so I don't miss anything or any questions that come up. Thank you. And so we'll go into the key principles of peak performance. Then we'll talk about the free 5-day challenge, which again, everyone who is on this presentation will get access to it. If you try to go to our website today, you would actually have to pay cash money for it. So just wait until the end of this presentation. I'll be able to provide you a link to one of the most powerful trading psychology tools that you can use that will help you to become a better trader. And then finally, we'll talk about keys to success. But before we do that, first, I want to do a poll. So if I got this right, Claudia, if I just click this button here, this should launch a poll for everyone, with the question being, what is the #1 issue that you're facing or you're struggling with as a trader right now? So is it effective entries? Is it emotional management? Is it risk management? Or is it discipline? I'll give maybe about 30 or 45 seconds to allow people to answer the questions here. It's really interesting though, just from the original answers so far, effective entries seems to be the thing that people are struggling with the most here, with about 57%, and then equally amongst the others at 14% or 13% now, we've got emotional management. But far the most one that I'm seeing right here is definitely effective entries, which is perfect. That means you're in the right place in terms of figuring out where's the best place for you to enter. I will talk about that immensely as well and give you some tools to help you to become better at effective entries. But even just simply using the MT4 scanner with the multi-time frame analysis, understanding based on your rules, when are your best entry requirements? And then when all of those are set, for you to be able to have an alert that lets you know that all of your entry conditions are met and you can enter into a trade, that's going to help you so much in terms of being able to get more consistent, being able to have the best possible entries. But we'll also jump into some other stuff here. All right, so that's the poll. Thank you. And I will focus specifically on effective entries, or more on effective entries today, since I know that that's what a lot of folks are struggling with. But then I'll also touch on the other areas as well. All right, so just a quick brief introduction about who I am, Marcus Howard. I know that Randy has done a great job of doing a great introduction, but just so you can know who is the person talking to you here. Currently, I am a hedge fund manager. I've been trading for the better part of about 8 or 9 years full-time, but have recently this year been able to convert what we've been doing to full hedge fund status, which has been it's been years in the making, and I'm really proud of where we've gotten to. And then on top of that, I am an author, was on the Amazon bestseller list for a little while, and then also founder of Tradechology, which is a coaching company that helps traders to optimize and manage their trading psychology, as well as optimize their trading systems. So what I trade, at least for me individually, not so much with the hedge fund, with me individually, I tend to go towards options and traditional futures, but I've tried just about everything. I've tried stocks, I've tried, trading bonds. I've taken a little bit of time to do Forex. I've done crypto. I've done so many, but I usually go back to the ones that I use to be more consistent or to make more money consistently, and that's options and traditional futures. But let me talk to you a little bit about how I got consistent, because this part is important. It's not just, where I am today, but what was the process that helped me to get to where I needed to be. So I originally started on Nadex, which is the North American North American Derivatives Exchange. Say that 5 times fast. So with Nadex, I mean, it's a binary options exchange. So as simple as I can explain it, let's say we were trading gold. The basic idea behind Nadex is, okay, do you believe gold is going to be higher than the current price by the end of the day? Do you believe it's going to be lower than the current price by the end of the day? If you believe it's going to be higher, you buy an options contract. If you believe it's going to be lower, you sell an options contract. And all of those contracts are worth $100. So if you're buying essentially at the money, which is where the price currently is, you're risking 50 ultimately to make another $50. It was just basically those sorts of coin flips. And there were other strategies that I was using for sure. Like I was using strangles and I was using some other cool tools to help me to be able to take advantage of volatility in the marketplace and different things like that. But I started that in 2017 and I took that $25,000 paper money account and in 18 months, I grew it to over $13 million. Okay. So I took almost a year and a half to really figure out trading, not just the mechanics of it, but how I interacted with the individual marketplace before I ever put in real money. And then at that time, after 18 months, I think I put in like $5,000 of my own money. And I've been doing it ever since. Like I have not gone out and done anything else. I do have this coaching company, which I love and appreciate because it helps me to help other traders, but 99.9% of my money currently is made on the charts. Okay. So this isn't one of those presentations where I'm, showing you information, but not actually applying it myself or using it in real life. I tell you, I use this information I'm going to provide to you every single day at the highest level. It's what got me to hedge fund status in just under 5 years. Okay. So the information in here is incredibly powerful if you just go ahead and use it. So I'm excited to dive in. So finally, again, with Tradechology, I enjoy helping traders discover and overcome the #1 obstacle, keeping them from being consistently profitable and multiplying their returns. And that's what we're going to jump into today for sure. So just quickly, just want to show a screenshot of the book that I wrote that is currently on Amazon. I'm not saying that so that you need to go out and buy it, because it's really written more for college students or students just starting their own financial lives. And I teach them about the very important things like how to do your taxes, how to balance your checkbook, how to do budgeting. And then the last half of the book is actually dedicated to helping you to get a 700 plus credit score in 6 months. So put all of that into a book. And this was a Pix 11 interview that I did in New York. I think it was like November of last year. So I released that book in 2007, maybe 2008. And over 10 years later, it's still in print. I'm still doing television interviews. I'm still doing speaking engagements. I'm incredibly blessed with the life that I have. All right. So let's jump into why you should pay attention to this presentation as we dive in here, because we got just a few minutes left. The #1 thing is we want to make sure that you optimize your trading psychology, meaning that we have you eliminate negative emotions and patterns that are contributing to your inconsistent trading results. There is a way that you do this. There is a specific way that you can go about doing this. One of the things that I find in the trading community is there's no shortage of great advice. Okay. There are so many trade leaders out here that give you great information, give you great rules to follow. But where I find that a lot of traders fall short, including myself, is, okay, well, how do I even apply that advice in the first place? How do I go about changing the patterns within me that are leading me to do the opposite of what I know that I need to be doing? Most traders understand intellectually what should happen, but emotionally and on a pattern level, they continue to do the same thing and they have no idea how to change it. I will show you exactly how you can do that today. You should pay attention if you want to become a consistently profitable trader, meaning that you're someone that stops rushing into trades. You wait for your A+ setups or your best setups, and you take your trading to a whole new level. And then finally, if you want to multiply your returns, because not every trader on this call is a losing trader. Okay. Some people are making money, but they plateaued. So I'll show you how you can ride out your winners, cut your losses quickly, stop taking profits prematurely, and make trading enjoyable again. That's the biggest thing that I want to put forth, is that making trading enjoyable, because this is a marathon. It isn't a sprint. The longer that you can enjoy this process and do it, the more likely you're going to be successful at it, the more likely you're going to be better at it. So let's keep you doing this for the long term. So with that said, let me just jump into the key concept of this presentation. If you get just the points that are on this one slide, this will put you years ahead of where you currently are as a trader. Okay. And this is the big point that I want to get across. And there are a couple of people that I do recognize in the room that are from even my trading coaching program right now that can attest to exactly what it is that I'm saying here. So the truth of the matter is you live 10 seconds in the past. This isn't hyperbole. This is a true statement. There was a study done by the Max Planck Institute in Germany. Max Planck being the Nobel Prize winning physicist. He's no longer with us, but he has the #1 brain research institution in the world. And they did a study in 2008 that was published in the scientific journal Nature that proved that science can determine what you are going to do up to 10 seconds before you're even conscious that you're going to do it. Let me say that again. Science can show and prove what you're going to do almost 10 seconds before you're conscious of you actually knowing what you're going to do based on the way that your brain waves fire and your brain patterns fire. So they hooked individuals up to an EEG machine. And the example that I love to give with this one is that not the first experiment that they did, but the second experiment that they did. So the second experiment that they did, they showed 2 different images. And so one image was a happy image. The other image was a scary image. And the images were on a random number generator, meaning no one knew what image you were going to see. Not the experimenter, not the person who was seeing the images, no one, okay? The computer selected it within milliseconds at a random basis. But what was so interesting about that study was that when they hooked your brain up to the EEG machine, they saw that you started reacting up to 10 seconds before you consciously even knew what the image was. So they were seeing brain patterns fire off for fear or brain patterns fire off for happiness 10 seconds before anyone knew what the actual image was going to be. Now, they didn't get it right every time, but they did get it right to a level of statistical significance where if you were going to, let's say, Vegas, for example, and you had to bet on red or black, happy or sad, they would leave out of their rich men. That's so interesting to think about, that not only is there a delay between what we actually experience in the world and what's actually happening, but there seems to be some mechanism within your mind that has the ability to be able to predict the future as well. And that's so interesting, because how does that actually apply to your trading if you really want to think through this, or how does it apply to what we have going on? The thesis that I want to give to you is that it's pointless at this point to talk to your conscious mind, because it's not the one that's in control of your trading. So the one that knows and hears the advice and says that, oh, I know better and I should be doing better, it's not the one that's in control when it's actually time to execute. And I think anecdotally, you can get the same sort of information and knowledge when you think about even when you enter into a trade. The best analysis that you have is before you enter into a trade, because actually once you enter into a trade, that usually leads to when most of the mistakes happen, because we're not thinking rationally anymore. Our emotions have taken over. A deeper, more patternistic side of us has taken over. And that is the part that we need to ultimately work through if we want to help you to fix your trading. And that's what we're going to focus on today. So understand that there is no amount of conscious chart reading, books, seminar style trainings, or back testing that you can do that will change what your other than conscious mind decides to do when executing a trade. Okay, we must give instructions to your other than conscious mind in a way that it quickly and readily accepts in order for any change to occur. So affirmations, mantras, willpower, all of those things, they sound great in theory, but they are small potatoes in comparison to what's really driving the change in your trading and how you can go and change that. So for the sake of your trading, please understand this basic truth. You are not consciously in control of your trading decisions, and you need to retrain the part of you that is. So if you've been trading for a while and you already use a method with a defined edge, or if you're using MT4Professional, which is helping you to get effective entry conditions, okay, but you're still struggling, it's time to stamp out the true cause. Retraining your other than conscious mind should be your main priority to improving your trading performance. I'll say that again, retraining your other than conscious mind should be your main priority to improve your trading performance. It is the thing that will give you the biggest leap, but most individuals don't know how to teach you how to retrain your other than conscious mind. And that's what we're going to go into today. So we must alter, delete, or reverse the decisions made 10 seconds before you are aware of them, or you will keep getting the same results and having the same issues. So this is going to contribute to the following things, which I know some of us are already struggling with, like overtrading, trading impulsively, revenge trading, missing trade after trade, analysis paralysis, taking your profits prematurely, moving your stops too close and too far away from the market. All of these things are influenced and encouraged by this part of you that actually operates 10 seconds before you're ahead or you're aware that it's even making the decisions for you when it comes to trading. Now, here's the truth. The ultimate goal, and I think many professional traders and many successful traders will be able to echo this as well. The ultimate goal is to be at peace while trading, no matter the outcome. Whether you win or lose a trade shouldn't be the thing that should trigger you to get into your emotions and then begin to make continued mistakes, okay? The outcome of any individual trade is just that, the outcome of any individual trade. But as you become more successful as a trader, you begin to think in terms of systems. So not necessarily what one trade has done or the next 5 trades have done, but over the next 100 trades, if my back testing and everything is correct, how much can I stand to see in terms of an increase of my overall P&L, okay? But we're not thinking 1 to 5 trades, but we're thinking 20 trades, 50 trades, 100 trades. How much can we even survive 100 trades, okay, with our current analysis in terms of our risk profile and different things like that, to be able to stay in the game long enough to be able to keep trading. All of these things are important, but at the end of the day, we need to be able to divorce our emotions from our individual trade outcomes, because it is when our emotions start to get in the way that we begin to make the biggest mistakes in our trading. So let's talk about how we can do that. And again, everything that I'm going to provide to you today is 100% free. If you go to my website, again, you're going to have to pay for it, but we will provide you a special link today for you to be able to get access to it. So the quickest and most effective way that I've seen to make drastic changes to your trading overall, okay, is to focus on a specific set of exercises that you can do to help you to change your other than conscious mind to optimize the key areas of trading. So for me, those areas are effective entries, trade management, which is everything that you do once you're in a trade, your exit management or your exit optimization, your actual money management or your capital allocation, how much you're willing to invest in any individual trade, how much you're willing to lose in any individual trade, and then your overall discipline. So what we've done is put these key areas into a challenge where each day we will give you specific exercises that you can do that, I mean, sometimes in as little as 24 hours, you can optimize and change your approach to these different parts of trading almost forever. Okay, so on day 1, we're going to do entries. On day 2, trade management. On day 3, we're going to do exits. On day 4, we're going to do money management. And on day 5, we're going to focus on discipline. But let's talk about what we're going to be doing on every single one of those days. So all told, there are about 1, 2, 3, 4 exercises that you would do. Each of them lasts around 15 or so minutes. So you're going to be in for about an hour a day over the next 5 days. So that's 5 hours in this week that you're going to be dedicating to doing the exercises. But I tell you, just simply doing these exercises will change your trading so much that the cost benefit analysis of spending 5 hours versus what you're going to do is going to be pretty amazing. So in the morning, what we do is we have you wake up an hour earlier for these 5 days to complete an exercise. And the exercise is just simply listening to an audiobook. But this audiobook is probably one of the most powerful books I've ever seen to help to change your mentality on money, on success, and on just the value of being a wealthy or a rich person, okay? And the reason why I asked you to wake up an hour earlier to listen to it is so that it doesn't disrupt your day. Because I don't want you waking up an hour later or waking up at the same time but being delayed an hour. You can listen to the audiobook and then essentially go back to sleep, because again, I'm talking to a deeper part of you, not your conscious mind, and that deeper part of you listens to everything even when you're sleeping, okay? And that's the part that needs to change, and that's the part that we're going to be talking to. After that, before you trade, there's a 15-minute exercise that you can do before you start trading. These tapping exercises that we have, and there are people that are in my coaching program that can attest to it as well. It's probably some of the most powerful technologies that I know in terms of being able to change any habit or any pattern of behavior quickly. So again, in as little as a sleep cycle. So you can be dealing with an issue like overtrading, revenge trading, analysis paralysis, or any of those trading issues. And when you fall asleep that night, when you wake up the next morning, you can see a significant difference in how you trade and how you feel about trading. And it would almost seem like a miracle because it's happening overnight. But I'm telling you, these exercises are so powerful, and I'm so happy to be able to provide these solutions and these technologies to traders. Before I was using these with traders, I was doing it with like, CEOs of multi-million-dollar companies, people that were doing this at the highest level, where I only had maybe an hour or 2 hours a week total to be able to transform not only them individually, but the success of their company. And these were the go-to technologies that I would go to help them to change any habit quickly. And you're able to get those in this 5-day challenge. While trading, you'll be listening to a set of affirmations, which are going to help you to compete with the negative thoughts that come up in your head. Like, so when you're trading, what if this trade goes wrong? What if it reverses on me? I'm not good at trading. Like all of those little negative thoughts that always constantly creep up, you can listen to an audio that introduces affirmations in there that compete with that. Now, it's not going to solve the problem of you having those negative thoughts, but it will provide an alternative to your mind to give you an alternative solution. And those really work very well. And then finally, there's an evening exercise that you do. So right before you go to sleep, you prime your mind for success for the next day. Doing all 4 of these exercises over 5 days will do so much to help to change your overall trading psychology and to help with your emotional management when you're entering into a trade. So again, I've gone through these, so I'll just go relatively quickly. Again, in the morning, you're going to listen to the audiobook that's going to help you to fix your ideas around why you should be wealthy, how to be wealthy, those sorts of things. Then you'll do beforehand the tapping exercises that are based on Nobel Prize winning research. You'll listen to the affirmations while you're trading, and before bed, you'll listen to an audio that's looping that is designed to retrain your other unconscious mind. So when you wake up the next day, you are in a idealized state, you're in a peak performance state, which will help you to become a better trader. And then finally, you'll have just a discussion day. And that last one is going to be just telling you what you're going to be doing for the next day of the challenge. We really laid this out in a step-by-step, easily chunkable way that is taught by demonstration. So there isn't any sort of long theory or anything in here. It really comes down to you simply do the exercise and you will see the results. It's actually quite beautiful. So what are some possible outcomes that you will have as a result of doing this? First and foremost, winning trades will start to come easier and more consistently for you. Your focus turns to patience and execution rather than profit and loss. And if you can just make this one shift, I'm telling you just how much of a difference you will see in your trading when you realize that it's really about the execution at the end of the day rather than your P&L, because sometimes we can't control what happens when we're in a trade. Okay, that there's a lot of noise that's introduced in so many of these markets. You could have your analysis right, but the trade ends up going against you. So we can't always micromanage how much money we make, but we can definitely micromanage how well we execute. And the better we execute over time, the more consistently we will make money. So if we can turn to patience and execution, you'll find that it's easier to stick to your trading rules and drastically reduce over trading, analysis paralysis, revenge trading, and all those other things. Most importantly, you'll experience less fear and emotion when trading. So you'll feel a sense of peace at a mental and emotional level, no matter the outcome of any individual trade. And just being able to experience that, if you are someone that deals with anxiety while you're trading right now or getting upset when you lose a trade, just being able to have that part be gone will do so much for your trading. And I'm excited that you're introduced to this technology to be able to help you to do so. So just quickly, I know we're out of time here. We're just a little bit past the hour, so I won't go into too much detail, but I did include a couple of reviews from traders that have done the 5-day challenge already and have seen some incredible results. Again, we also have people that are on this call right now that have taken the 5-day challenge and have graduated all the way to like the major coaching program. So I'm sure they can attest to you as well in terms of how much this has helped them. Kristen was a great one because she was someone that was based in California. So she had to wake up sometimes at 2 o'clock in the morning to do the exercises. But as a result of her doing the exercise, I'll just read the last paragraph for you. By the end of the challenge, I definitely felt more calm while trading. I wasn't second guessing myself as much, had far less fear, was less emotional, and was much more unattached to the outcome. I absolutely love the trading affirmations audio. By day 4, I was 3 for 3 on trades, and on day 5, I was 2 for 2. So this challenge has definitely helped me. I would recommend Marcus's training and coaching to everyone that wants to improve their trading. So there are a number of people that have gone through this and they have really seen success. And what's more important than that, because I can tell you all day long what other people are experiencing, but then I could also just provide you the opportunity to be able to use these exercises, utilize these exercises, and implement them into your own trading for free. So that's what I've chosen to do, as opposed to, having something where I'm trying to pitch and have you buy something at the end of the day. I really enjoy Claudio and Randy and what they do, and they are already providing a deep special discount. And I want to be able to provide an additional bonus for everyone that's on that call to be able to take their trading psychology to the next level. So my email is there in terms of support@tradechology.co if you do have any questions. But then also I will drop here in the chat the link that you can go to right now to sign up for the free 5-day challenge. And then I guess when we do have a replay, because I know there may be some people looking not just in the Zoom call, but on the internet and other places, we will ultimately be able to provide that link to you as well, just so you're able to get access to it for sure. So with that, I will end my formal presentation here. And then Randy, I'm happy to kind of jam with you for a little bit, answer any questions that may have come from your presentation, my presentation, or ask the questions that I do have for sure about MT4.
Absolutely. I'm here ready for any questions that you might have, and any other questions from the audience. That would be great to put it out this time. So let us know what your questions are. We're glad to field them now.
Sure.
You might want to start off with a question to get things going and maybe say prime the pump.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the biggest things that I love to get out to my traders is this idea that you should be able to lean onto technology to do the opportunity scanning or do the scanning of the market for you. So you're not wasting so much brain power trying to figure out what are the best conditions for you to enter into a trade. So with MT4Professional, is there a way for when certain conditions are met for a market for you to be able to get an audio alert? So you can be doing emails, doing anything else, and then simply you get a trigger, whether it's on your phone or in your headphones, that lets you know, hey, your conditions are met and you can enter into a trade?
Absolutely. On the MT4, MT5 system, they already have a very good alert system that's already set up. And MT4Professional just adds on to that by taking not only the audible alerts that you get from the platform, but can even send you an alert through email or through the mobile platform or through SMS. Give you a direct message directly to your phone that a trade setup has met your criteria and is ready for execution.
Beautiful. That is great.
And so if you're at lunch someplace and you get one of these signals, all you do is just pull up your the app that links you directly to your broker, and you enter the trade right there. And then it shows up directly on your account, on your platform back at your office. So it's not a problem at all.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, then one last question for you, then we'll open it up to the gallery for sure. So I know in looking at the presentation, there's a lot with multi-time frame analysis, using rule-based signals to help you to scan for opportunities to enter into a trade. But let me ask you this, Randy, when you are in a trade, so we're doing trade management and you're looking for proper exit conditions, do you use MT4Professional for that as well, in terms of like, here are some things that I look for in terms of when it's time for me to get out of a trade, or do you already have those things defined before you enter?
Normally you would have them defined before you enter.
Yes.
As you know, most people that trade successfully have a plan.
100%.
They know their entry and their exits before they even get into the trade. But having said that, using an automated platform like MT4Professional gives you the ability to see when the technical trend is changing. A lot of times we will set a goal, a target, price, profit point. But sometimes Mr. Market just doesn't want to get to that level. No matter how much we yell at the monitor, no matter how much we try to will it into existence, Mr. Market doesn't want to get your profit point. But the market will show us when it's starting to change. And that's the nice thing about the platform, is that it'll show us those turns in the market when they are not starting to meet any of our criteria, and alert you to the fact that the market's starting to turn. You need to get out of your trade. So that's the nice thing about the system, is that you don't always know that you're going to get your profit target, but you do know that the criteria that you have established and set up ahead of time is going to let you know that the market conditions are ripe for an exit, or for you to start looking at hedging up your position or even reversing your position.
Absolutely. Thank you, Randy.
You're welcome. So again, your offer was for a 5-day makeover? Is that, I mean,
Yeah, so it's a 5-day trading psychology challenge where
yeah,
essentially
challenge. That's
the
it.
goal is that we are looking to do the work to make sure that the next time you sit down to trade, that you're in the peak performance state, meaning that you see the market the best you've ever seen it. You know what your entry requirements are, you know what your exit conditions are, and you are just operating at an optimal level. It's one of the few tools or courses that I've seen that will allow you to change your mindset to help you to get into a better state.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that before about being in the optimal mindset, to be there at peak performance. You know, you hear that a lot of times with athletes and other people who are out there trying to amp their performance to get to the point where they're just everything they do is perfect. Well, we want to be the same way, right? You know, in our trades and how we approach the day and so forth. And, you know, it's so easy to trade sloppily. It's so easy to take willy-nilly shoot from the hip type trades because, oh, the market's starting to go up. I want to be in that trade. And then as soon as you get in, it starts going down against you, you know. So it's like, what do you do in that situation? You're in the trade. You've jumped in because you just saw it was starting to go up, but then it goes against you. That's the setup that tries to get you every single time.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't ever want to get yourself into that situation because then you're driven by fear and greed. You're not driven by your mindset. You're not driven by your trade plan. You're not driven by your goals that you've already proven and established over time. So yeah. So I think it sounds like your approach to that helps you to get into that correct mindset.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then it
Okay.
also does a great amount of work to train you out of it. Because as a trader, we've all picked up habits over time that, for whatever reason, may be helping. And a lot of times they are hindering our trading. And again, if you don't have tools that can help you to even change those habits that you've established so that you can become a better trader, all of this is for nothing. I mean, you can have the best tools, but if you don't use those tools effectively, then you're just going to use them to fit the square peg with the round hole that you have just created for yourself with this new tool. So
Right.
combining the tool with the actual habit changing will allow you to exponentially increase the probability that you will do better with the tool that you have just purchased or just acquired for yourself.
Right. So I just responded to a question and I answered it. The question was, is MT4Professional only for people that know about trading? No, it's not. If you don't know about trading, MT4Professional is just going to make it easier for you to learn how to trade. But you can use it as a pure beginner. It's just not a tutorial platform, which means that it's not going to teach you how to trade. So you'll need to learn trading over time, probably learning from very simple methods, learning about supply and demand, about price action, and so forth. You need to learn that over time, but the platform is easy enough so that during that learning process, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to get to the point of having a proven trade plan with a ability to automate your trades and scale them out. So it does not specifically give you the entries or exits. It gives you where the criteria is met for the entry. So it's not like saying, oh, I just turn it on and it gives me a trade entry. No, it's not going to do that. You have to give it the rules based upon your own criteria, and you have to tell it what the market has to do in order to create a potential trade opportunity. That's your goal. You need to be a little bit skilled in order to do that. And you should already have been a trader in order to get to that level. So while you can start off as a pure beginner, you still need to have some education on trading first if you're going to be really good at setting up these strategies for trading. I hope I answered that as best I could. I tried to type in the answer, and then I thought maybe a discussion about it would be a little bit more appropriate. Let's see, that was the only Q&A session. I haven't seen any questions come across in the chat. And so if there aren't any more questions, do you have any other comments or anything that you'd like to close with, Marcus?
Yeah, I can just close with saying that you all are awesome. Thank you for all that you do for the trading community. Absolutely. With the tools that you provide, with the education that you provide, and so much of the information that you provide to everyone free of charge has been great. And I just appreciate the opportunity to come here and to be able to share what I do and what the traders in my community are doing to help them to become consistently profitable.
Awesome. Yeah. And so let me go back and share my screen one more time.
Uh-oh, did we lose Randy? Claudia, I think we did lose Randy. So actually, I don't know because I don't use the scanner, but Claudia, we do have a question from Scott King, who is asking, can he use Elliott Wave with the scanner? Okay, we'll just take a couple more minutes to wait for Randy. In the meantime, oh, there's Randy. He's back.
Okay, I am back. Let me see if I can't share my screen one last time. There. All right, sorry about that. Wow, somehow I got kicked off. I'm not sure why or how, but I did. Everyone can hear me okay, right?
Yes.
Oh, good. I just wanted to say that the link to our software, again, is mt4professional.com/trial. It's a full software base that takes over and you can use with MT4 or MT5. You can always contact us directly at support@mt4professional.com. And yeah, pull that back. And just want to thank you for attending us today. I sure hope that we can get together again, Marcus, for these things. And I look forward to our future collaboration on other events as well.
Indeed, we'd love that for sure.
Absolutely. All right, I think that's about it. So Claudio, whenever you want, you can always, let's see, a user asked, can I use Elliott Wave with the scanner? If you have criteria that if the Elliott Wave signals something on your charts, i.e. an indicator of some sort, and if the output of that Elliott Wave software can show up inside the data window for whatever application that you're using, then yes, you can use it directly with the scanner.